Quickly, guys, before the demons come, I have to tell you something very important. I've been dooming, and it's eternal. The doom is eternal. I'm telling you. There's no way around it. It is eternal. You gotta listen to me. You all have probably recognized by now. Today we're gonna be talking about Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal is what would happen if you took Doom 2016, gave it steroids, and a faster movement system. It is really cool. It does almost everything Doom 2016 did, but just does more of it, and or just straight up better. It is a game that fundamentally has a bunch of changes that makes it a lot harder, but is also a lot more fun because of said changes, especially the later you go into the game. It is really, really good. And to start off with that, we need to talk about the gameplay. Because the gameplay of Doom Eternal is still fundamentally a boomer shooter. However, in comparison to Doom 2016, Doom Eternal, it's infinitely faster. It is such a fast-paced game in comparison. And that is overall a good thing, as a lot of the systems within Doom Eternal encourage fast movement. You have things such as your chainsaw being back, where you go up to an enemy, you saw them over in half, and they split up like a loop pinata, giving you a bunch of stuff everywhere that you can pick up so you have more ammunition. You have a new thing to your arsenal, that being the flamethrower. The flamethrower is basically just a way to regain armor points, and you will need that. Because in Doom 2016, there was quite a bit of armor laying around, and there still is in Eternal. However, the enemy density and the way that the enemies do damage and sort of all of that are just more. This just hurts a lot more to play Doom Eternal in comparison to 2016, and therefore the flamethrower in Doom Eternal is just a really welcome addition. There are of course different ways of punishing enemies more, because when you use the flamethrower you put them on fire, no shit. It is an addition to the suit, so you can use that and a gun at the same time, and then when you damage an enemy after having used the flamethrower, that's when you get armor points. So depending on how you kill an enemy or damage them, the more armor points you will get. And one of the best ways to get them is, as an example, by using your chainsaw. So you throw out the flamethrower, then you use the chainsaw to kill the enemy, and that just gives you a buttload of armor points. A lot of these systems work like that, and there are a lot of things that sort of emphasize that exact faster playstyle. Another thing that I really like is the new grenade, being the cryo grenade, that can freeze enemies. But if you upgrade it right, using the right runes and whatnot, you don't just freeze enemies anymore. You freeze them, but also when you destroy them, they drop health points. And that can of course be stacked with your armor points, so you can sort of always keep that loop going. It's pretty cool, and it sort of encourages again the faster paced movement, because now you can also slow down the enemies. However, there's one other thing. You are not just moving faster. No. The super shotgun has gotten a little change, a little tiny micro change. Now it has a giant meat hook on the end that you can shoot into your enemies, pierce them, and have the super shotgun pull you closer to your enemy. So you can be pulled closer to your enemy and move much faster, killing that enemy when you then come close and shoot them with the shotgun. And there are other ways to use the system, because when you start to upgrade your super shotgun, the one upgrade path it has in this game doesn't allow it to shoot twice. No siree. What you can do here in Doom Eternal is make the chain go on fire. Now what happens when the grappling hood is on fire on your super shotgun is that when you grapple or like attach to an enemy, you also put them on fire. And that works kind of like the flamethrower, so all of a sudden it goes from being you just get closer to an enemy to being you have made yourself a loop pinata that can spread a shit ton of fucking armor points everywhere. And it's a really satisfying gameplay loop, because it allows you to attach to an enemy across the arena, get pulled over, burn it, kill it, then pull out your next weapon and shoot it, because that's just how the Doom Eternal works, and that is how it should work, because the music just pumps you up, and it's really cool. It's really, really cool. And as you can probably get from that, the weapon upgrade system is back in full effect. Here you get a lot more points a lot faster, not just through exploration, but also through combat challenges, where every major area you clear of enemies you get a combat point, and some side areas where you have a timer, and so on. So you get these combat points that you can use to upgrade your weapon down the paths that they can go down. And some of them have returned, like the bomb from your shotgun. So like the combat shotgun can get the grenade launcher again. However, a new upgrade that one can get is being fully automatic. Now, if you have never played with the fully automatic combat shotgun, do yourself a favor and get that. Just try it. It is really fun. And a lot of these upgrades will be exactly that. They're going to be a lot of fun to play around with, and a lot of the arsenal will return with new upgrades. However, there are also a few new weapons. You have, first and foremost, the ballista, being this giant laser crossbow that is there instead of the assault rifle from the first game, and so on. There are a few weapons like that. There's also a new version of the BFG you can get for completing all the secret encounters that I won't spoil a whole lot more about, other than saying that they're basically just a harder gauntlet of enemies and are super cool, and you get the Unmaker new BFG from it. And of course, there's also, how can I forget, the Crucible, a giant red sword that you can use to one-shot any enemy that it comes into contact with. It's completely broken, and it's really fun to play around with. These are all the new sort of weapons you get, and for the major weapons, like the ones that don't have a special counter, so not the Crucible, and no, not the Unmaker, they all have their own upgrade points and systems, which is really fun because they again have these challenges that you have to complete, and some of them return. As an example, the attachment grenade launchers are then direct impacting, and so on. There are like a few different ones that return almost one-to-one, but there's also a hell of a lot of new ones. The fully automatic combat shotgun upgrade, as an example, requires you to kill 15 pinky demons using the fully automatic shotgun, which can be more of a challenge than it might initially sound like. And a lot of sort of things in the game go again. The challenges come back, the exploration comes back, but this time the exploration is taking place on new maps with breakable walls. Yes, some walls are breakable and there can be secrets behind them, and it honestly creates for a really fun system where you sometimes will find these walls that are breakable just to find a secret collectible, and there are more collectibles now, a lot more. The Predator suit points are back, but there's also new toy figures that you can find of demons and doom guys, and vinyls, and the vinyls are really cool, because one of the worst parts of the first game was the in-between mission segments, because there were none. Essentially, when you were going from a mission to the next mission, there was not an intermission place that you are in. In Doom Eternal, you have your own mother base, you have a home for the Doom guy, and those collectibles are put in there. So you can go around your Doom base and look at all of your different vinyls and things you've collected throughout the game. And it's just a really neat little thing. It is one of those things that just add that little bit, the tad bit more personality to the game. And I absolutely adore that about Doom Eternal. Another thing I love about Doom Eternal is the environment. Because the environment in Doom Eternal, in comparison to Doom 2016, is a lot more vibrant, there's a lot more colors. Partially because you're on Earth now, as the demon invasion has killed over 60% of the population on Earth, and now it is up to you to stop demons on Earth. And that is fine and dandy. Again, it is sort of story second, despite the lore being really, really good. It's still story second. It is still mainly focused on that gameplay element, and that gameplay element is really good. As, like I said, the game is just straight up adrenaline pumping fun. The environments follow suit. The environments in Doom Eternal are really fucking cool. Not just are they more vibrant, but the backdrops are so much cooler. From walking big giant demons to entire spaces, to my favorite area actually being on a space station right before you get your BFG, where you walk into this area and there's this big laser cannon firing, and every time it fires, the entire screen like gets the screen effect on it, and it just adds. It makes it feel like you are in an actual war against the demons, and it's so cool to see. It's just a really nice backdrop for what is about to happen to said demons, which is that you come in there, probably wielding your super shotgun, attaching to the demons, and then flying over there at the speed of light to shoot a good old pellet of red American lead into the face before continuing over to the next one and so on. It's just really fun. It's a nice little system. I love these sort of visual effects that you can get in certain areas. Just like I love the backdrops of all the hill areas in Doom Eternal, honestly much more than in 2016. They are just ramping it up on all fronts. And I think that is the way it should be. It is exactly what a sequel should be. It takes what the first one does well and just does it better. And it's really fun in almost every single way that matters. And the soundtrack follows the exact same suit. It is great, it is fantastic, it is just as good as the first games. Unfortunately, there was some drama with Mike Gordon and some stuff along those lines back in the day when Doom Eternal came out, and I don't really know the exact situation, so I won't be speculating here, but that is something to be wary of. But the soundtrack still really pops. It's insanely good, and of course it has to be mentioned. The arenas that you fight in are just as good, if not better than the first game as well, as finally they started to use the vertical movement so much more in Doom Eternal in comparison to Doom 2016. So now you don't just have to focus on the enemy in front of you, but also above you and to your side, and maybe he's behind you. No, it's just really cool, because in general, being able to move vertically is one of those things that I feel like it's really nice to have, especially in a combat scenario in games, as it sort of creates that extra dynamic where, is he above me right now? And in a game like Doom Eternal, where you are dodging and avoiding bullets all the time, it gives you another avenue of avoiding said bullets. And it's just so much fun. I love it. I really do. It's genuinely one of the singular best games out there, especially within the boomer shooter genre of games. Nobody does it like it, and my god, is Doom an example of that. And Doom Eternal takes that to another level. So, yeah, that has been about it. Hi, you also made it to the end of the Doom Eternal video. I'm kinda impressed, I'll be honest. Thank you so much. I just wanted to say, if you want to catch me live, again, I'm live tomorrow at this Twitch channel, this time. So if you want to catch me there, you have the opportunity. I'll be live for a few days, I think, streaming the entirety of Doom Dark Ages through. So you have that to look forward to, and I'll see you all there.